For over 20 years, I've dedicated my life to bringing you the very best selling, marketing, and business building strategies to keep your business thriving. Get ready to experience the success you've been searching for. Welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. Welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. You know what drives me nuts? When I hear from a client, hey Tom, you're not going to believe this. I'm driving down the street in a neighborhood I've been down 1,000 times, and I see a for sale sign from another agent, and I know the person that lives there, and they just go nuts. And I hear this just anger and upset and frustration. And of course, you know, they're usually pointing it out. They're not looking inward. And I always just ask one question. Are you following the Tom plan? And they're like, the Tom plan? Oh, Tom Ferry, that's so egotistical. What do you mean? I go, no, not Tom plan. Are you staying top of mind with your customers? Look, people aren't sitting around going, oh my God, when's Taz going to call me? I need Taz. I'm not doing anything until my realtor calls me. That's not what they're doing. We are being bombarded by $14-15 billion worth of advertising, online promotions, direct mail, billboards, you name it, everywhere, saying we can sell your home fast, inexpensively, and everything else, or we're the way. And guess what? There's just a big percentage of maybe you watching this right now saying, you know what? There's a big percentage of my clients that just forget, right? I'm not being responsible and keeping them informed to generate the kind of referrals I want. So let's talk about it. Ready? Here's the Tom plan, the top of mind. It's just a great little acronym. Top of mind plan for us to generate more referrals. Number one, we've talked about this so many times. I've got to call or text to get them on the phone. I've got to call or text to get them on the phone. I want to speak to them every 90 days. Every 90 days. Hey, Taz, I'm just checking in, right? Hey, Dan, just want to see what's going on, man. Congratulations on, right? And having that kind of, you know, the new baby, the new engagement, just staying top of mind, just staying aware. And by the way, we all know that if all you ever do is call and say, oh, by the way, then all you ever do is call and go, yeah. That's all you do, right? That was good. I got a little giggle out of that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, my insurance broker, right? She calls me all the time, but half the time she's just calling in to say, oh my goodness, I saw that photo of your son on Facebook. How did that happen? We've known each other forever. And bing, Julie Bauer shout out to Julie Bauer, is suddenly top of mind. She doesn't say, hey, by the way, Lisa, man, who do you know? Right? She just stays top of mind. A few days ago, we met with a guy, Logan. Logan is an amazing writer. And he came in and he was like, look, he was pitching me on something. He's like, this is what I'm doing. I've known this guy for 6 or 7 years. He checks in with me all the time. And it's not always like, hire me. Sometimes he's like, hey, have you seen that new car? Want to take it for a spin? I've got one, because he's a writer and like car companies give him cars and that kind of thing. So he'll just check in with me. And then a few days ago, he was like, hey, by the way, I got this offer. And because he stayed in my consciousness, boom. And by the way, here's the best part. He walks out of the meeting. I sent him 3 referrals, right? He was talking to me about something that was interesting to me. He never even during the meeting said, hey, do you know anybody that might be interested in this? He's just always staying in communication. You with me on this? And that's the magic. That's the Tom plan. Stay top of mind by always bringing relevant news, checking in. How's it going? It should literally be like, after a few years, people are like, he's going to be calling me, right? Ring. Hey, Tom, I've been waiting for your call. That's how much you want to condition your database, your customers, your sphere to know. Does that make sense? So number 2 is obviously I want to send him an email once a week, give him open house invitations, keep him engaged in events, things that we're doing. Here's what's going on, client success, just listed, just sold, all that good stuff. Number 3, I want to do 2 direct mail pieces a month, because at the end of the day, direct mail still works, right? Direct mail still works, especially when you overlay it with phone calls, email, the secret weapon, right? Activating your base. When you do all these things together, you stay at the top of their consciousness as the agent of choice. Does that make sense? Now, the last thing I wrote down, oh, by the way, under direct mail, a just listed, just sold combo piece, just 1 a month of all your new listings, all your new sales. Tom, I'm a brand new agent. What do I do? All of your company's new listings, all of your company's new sales. You with me on this? Go to your broker manager. Can I take 4 or 5 of the photos of our listings, right? And say, this one was listed by and this one was listed by. A team always outperforms an individual. Your face, your information, got questions about these properties, boom, you send it out to your customers. Does that make sense? You use the other agents in your office with your broker manager's permission and you win. Make sense? All right. 2 direct mail pieces a month. 1, a just listed, just sold combo piece. Don't send me your 13 listings, just listed, just sold in 1 month. I don't need that. I know you're listing a lot of houses. Send me the one with all of them to your database. And then number 2, I think it's, look, what is the number 1 question you get every day? Oh, hey, you're in real estate? How's the market? Right? This morning, I was standing in line at Starbucks and guy behind me, hey, Tom Ferry, I've seen you on your YouTube show. That's really cool. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. His name is Jay. And I'm like, Jay, what do you do? He goes, oh, I build, not office buildings, but hospitals. I was like, you build hospitals? That's awesome, right? We're chatting about that. We're discussing it. And I thought, you know what? This guy, by the way, guess what he asked me? Hey, you talk to a lot of real estate. What's going on in the real estate market? What's happening? Like, how's it? No. That's what everybody wants to discuss. So why aren't you once a month sending up something that says, curious about the value of your home? Go to my website, right? Curious about what's happening here? Go to my website. Give them what they want so they're not asking anybody else, but you are the source of knowing exactly what their home is worth and more. Does that make sense? And then the last one, number 4, if I really want to stay top of mind, over there on my wall, you can't see it, but it says, how do I build a high growth business? Number 1, you got to decide on your wildly important goal. Number 2, you got to create an only statement. We're the only company who X, right? You have to operationalize or institutionalize everything you do. And the last one says, cultivate and activate your ecosystem. Now, you've probably seen us do this over the last 14 years, and it really is the essence of how do you stay top of mind? You've got to start activating your base. Now, here's what's great. You have one of these. If you go onto it, there's an app called Facebook. It's an FB. You hit on that, and when it opens up, in the top left corner, there's a little red thing, and it says LIVE, live. And if you hit that button, and once a month you go, hey everybody, it's Tom Ferry, just want to check in. 72 times last month, I was asked this question, how's the market? I thought I'd share the answer with all of you. And all of a sudden, your friends, your mom, your brother-in-law, your friend who went to college with you 2,700 years ago is on there and they're like, hey, that's really cool. By the way, I moved to Humby-Dum. You're still in Hooby-Doo. My mother needs to sell her home. Could you do that? That just happened to one of our clients. He was at a Tom Ferry event. Peter Rader, big shout out to Peter Rader from up in New York. He's doing this video. And a guy from, and I forget where it was, but it was like outside of the marketplace, could have been Boston or something, said, hey, Pete, really cool. Glad to see you're doing so well in real estate. My mom wants to sell her home. He's activating the base. He's educating the base like we talked about in last week's show, being the local market expert. That's what this is about. So my question for you is, are you losing referral opportunities? Has there been a time ever in your business when somebody sent you a little note that said, please come to our house. We're throwing a party at the new home we bought. That actually happened to one of my clients, and it was a $10 million home in the Hamptons. He got invited. He's a real estate agent. I'm not even going to say his name because I know he's watching. He's going to die. He got an invitation. Please come to our party at our new home, a $10 million home in the Hamptons that a friend of his bought because he wasn't top of mind. Does that make sense? I think you're losing opportunities every day. Let's start calling. Let's start texting. Let's start communicating. Let's keep them informed on email. Let's keep them informed in terms of your activity and answering the questions about home values, and then activate the base through Facebook or others. Now, switching gears. I hear people say all the time, all right, so Tom, I know I should reach out to them, but I just feel like sometimes they know so many agents and, everybody's in the business and the market's good. So I say, well, what are your unique factors? What gives you bravado? What gives you confidence? What I know is when you can eloquently separate yourself from the competition, when you can look at the MLS averages, the averages of your marketplace or the averages of the community you serve versus the other agents, When you find your unique selling factors, you have more confidence. You have more swagger. You're more likely to call, to reach out, to connect, not to be cocky or egotistical, but to know that even though they know multiple people in the business, if the numbers are massively in your favor, and I know they are, they should at least talk to you. Does that make sense? That just gives you that extra advantage. So you've seen me talk about this before. I believe you should know 4 things cold. Now, you might not use all 4. You might only use 2. That's okay. But if you have all 4, watch the formula. Number 1, we sell blank times more homes on average than the competition. Any way you add that up, that's a good thing. Now, if you're a brand new agent, so what do you say? My office, my company, our area, right? We do more than anybody else. I was with dinner last night with a friend, and I can't say his name. I do that too often. I should just start saying names and we just beep it out. Because he, lots of good stuff. He says to me, 2 of my offices, we control 1 out of 3 listings in their marketplace. Like, that's incredible. We were talking about old school sales edge, role playing, scripts and dialogues, and how that was the unique factor that allowed these offices to go out and basically take 1 out of 3 listings. So if I'm a brand new agent in that marketplace, I'm going to use that. If I'm an agent in that marketplace or in that office, I'm absolutely going to say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we control 1/3 of the market. And all that means is we get the buyers, we get the online, we get all the leads, and the competitive advantage. Number 2, we sell our listings, we sell our homes 3 times faster, 22% faster. So can you see how that's going to give you a little more bravado, a little more energy, a little more confidence when people are like, how's it going? What's happening in the market? Well, we're pretty proud that last year we basically sold 7 times more properties than the average agent in our marketplace. And it wasn't just that we sold them quickly. We actually are also selling them 22 times faster than our competition. But before you say, but Tom, if you sell it so quickly and you sell so many, I'm concerned that you're probably just lowering the price. People say that to me all the time until they discover that we actually end up selling our properties for 2.9% more money than the competition on average. So it just seems that our clients come to us because we have the experience, we help a lot of people, we do it faster, and we get them more money. And I know for some people you start thinking, my goodness, Tom, you're running a machine over there. Am I going to get the kind of experience I want? Relationships matter. And what I want you to know is relationships and client experience is what we pride ourselves on. And we have right now 7 times more 5-star reviews than any other agent in our marketplace. And as we sit down to work together tonight, know that my number 1 aim is to make sure that you're my next 5-star review. So I want to deliver that experience. And these are my competitive advantages that you can hold me accountable to. Something like that. Does that make sense? Now, if I'm brand new, what am I going to do? I'm going to take these stats from my office. I'm going to go sit down with my office manager. I'm going to go sit down with the 10 best teams in my office and say, collectively, what are all the numbers? And you're basically going to leverage their numbers to go out and support more customers. Does that make sense? You can't lie and say, these are my numbers. You say, these are my office numbers. I'm a part of this team. This is how we work. Does that make sense? Right? Always tell the truth. All right. So you got a lot to think about. Are you following the Tom plan, or are you comfortable having $15 billion being spent from other big, really sexy, amazing marketing companies who want to take your clients and have them go use someone else? Or are you going to stay top of mind? You with me on this? And if you need a little more bravado, make sure you know these numbers so you can comfortably and confidently get on the phone, bring people value, and when they ask questions about what you're doing, talk about the stuff that really matters. Does that make sense? So I hope you got some value out of this. I know I've been sharing a bunch of fun stuff with you. Follow the Tom plan, get your unique factor, and get to work. Thanks so much for watching. Remember always, your strategy matters, and now more than ever, top of mind absolutely rules. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We have a number of events coming up, and we'd love to have you there. Visit tomferry.com/events and reserve your spot today.